You don't realize it, but every time you praise a weakness as a virtue, you're voting for your own psychological warden. Let that sink in, because this isn't some abstract historical discussion. This is the operating principle shaping your decisions, your beliefs, right now. Go back to the 1880s, when Nietzsche stalked the streets of a Europe convulsing with invention, mass journalism, and ideological ferment. The old religious certainties were rotting. Industry replaced tradition. The crowd replaced the king. But Nietzsche didn't see liberation. He saw a new kind of cage. As factories and bureaucracies multiplied, a herd instinct metastasized. The crowd began to fear strength, to canonize limitation as goodness, to turn suspicion into sanctimony. Instead of aspiring to greatness, you were supposed to seek approval, blend in, and renounce whatever made you threatening to the mass. But this isn't just history. You exist now in a world defined not by priests and monarchs, but by algorithmic priests, feeds that tell you what to desire, whom to fear, how to posture. Online, victimhood is the new sacrament. What you call virtue, modesty, non-confrontation, endlessly professed sensitivity, is often just camouflage for a deeper form of capitulation. When did you last question whether your values were actually your own? Or are you just reciting whatever gets the most likes, the safest job, the easiest applause? To Nietzsche, slave moralities wasn't some accidental byproduct of kindness or compassion. No, it was a deliberate inversion, a strategic revolt of the powerless, who, unable to seize real power, sanctified their weaknesses as universal standards. This morality isn't about caring, it's about control. Through a creative act of saying no to the powerful, the herd elevates its limitations as the highest virtues. Think about that. What passes for goodness, for humility, for tolerance, is often engineered to keep you docile, to keep you doubting your own capacity to assert yourself. Contrary to the self-help cliches, Nietzsche doesn't despise kindness. He attacks the moralization of weakness, the way collective injury leverages guilt and resentment to suppress genuine excellence. Go look at modern mass movements. Are they celebrating strength and creativity, or obsessively cataloging grievances and demanding conformity? Social media isn't just a marketplace of ideas, it's a digital cathedral, where victimhood is canonized and self-assertion branded as heresy. Modern morality is a Trojan horse, smuggled into our minds, only to unleash self-doubt and obedience from within. You may think you're choosing your values, but whose agenda are you actually serving? You've been taught to sabotage your own interests and call it virtue. But what if your silent agreement is the very thing turning the key in your own cell? If you feel discomfort creeping in, good, because the manipulation doesn't end here. The real machinery of mass psychology, how you're collectively managed, how your own instincts are turned into weapons against you, is about to get much more insidious. What if I told you that even your daydreams are leased by someone else's narrative? It's not just your behaviors being monitored, it's your desires, your secret ambitions, the private scripts you whisper to yourself in the dark. Remember Nietzsche observing a Europe where the herd instinct flourished, reshaping moral codes to champion humility, meekness, and safe obedience. Now, strip away the steeples and incense. You're left with the glowing screens and algorithmic whispers of today. Slave morality never died. It evolved, and now it has a perfect host, mass psychology, weaponized and invisible. Here's the uncomfortable truth you're trained to ignore. Your sense of self is under attack, not by brute force, but by seduction. Nietzsche saw society as the ultimate tamer, branding you with the right labels, making you predictable, programmable. This isn't the crude hypnosis of brainwashing movies. It's the steady drip feed of curated desire. Manipulation today isn't about denying your wishes. It's about manufacturing them, installing them in your mind with all the quiet efficiency of an app update. You want what you're meant to want. You are terrified of what you've been taught to fear. And the line between your authentic self and your programmed self blurs until it vanishes. Who benefits when you idolize your own limitation? Think algorithmic feeds rewarding outrage and insecurity. Think of influencers peddling victimhood as virtue, platforming passivity as sophistication. Social capital accrues, not to those who risk transformation, but to those who polish their wounds and rehearse their grievances. This isn't community, it's a market in victimhood. Your profile is optimized for dependency, not sovereignty. The machinery of modern life profits most from your compliance, and it distracts you by selling outrage and dissent as products you can buy, hashtags you can use, or roles you can play. Here's the twist. Pop psychology insists you should avoid external validation, telling you to seek an authentic self. But what if even your craving for authenticity is itself a script, mass-produced and sold back to you as rebellion? The alpha male doctrine shouts, overcome the herd, yet it's swallowed whole by the very system it claims to oppose, turned into a commodity, a performance, another predictable product to sell you. Ask yourself, if your rebellion fits neatly onto a hashtag, is it really rebellion? Can you break out, or are you simply tracing new shapes on the same digital fence? We are sheep who think our pasture is the whole world, unaware of the fence wire humming just out of sight. You can feel that wire every time you try to think a new thought, and find the vocabulary for it has already been supplied, sanitized, made safe. This is the spiral of manipulated desire, where even your gestures of defiance become permissions granted by an unseen shepherd. So now you stand at a crossroads, accept the pasture as your purpose, or look for the gate you've been told doesn't exist. But if you choose to search for that gate, who will you have to become? Are you ready to confront the force inside you that prefers safety over sovereignty? Because what comes next is not rebellion, it's rebirth, and it's not offered. You will have to take it. Why do you obey narratives that sabotage your own interests, even when you know they're making you weaker? No, this isn't paranoia. This is the secret script you've been running since birth, and unless you face it, you're a willing accomplice to your own defeat. Step back to the 1880s. Picture Nietzsche, glaring into the smog-thick horizon of industrial Europe. Steam engines, telegraphs, railways, machines everywhere. But Nietzsche wasn't worried about machines. He was obsessed with something much darker, a mass morality reshaping your very soul, even as you watch this now. As old religious certainties crumbled, crowds rushed to fill the void, not with new courage, but with new submission. Herd instinct metastasized into a morality that sanctified weakness as virtue. In Nietzsche's world, slave morality didn't just whisper that suffering was noble. It declared that power, ambition, and strength were shameful, dangerous even. Here's the twist. You live in the so-called age of freedom, but your operating system still runs on 19th century fears. The faces change, bishops become influencers, creeds morph into hashtags, and the whip is replaced by algorithmic nudges. But the architecture is the same, a system designed to make you think that to obey is to be good, and to rebel is to become a threat. In place of stone altars, you have customized feeds programmed to reward conformity, punish defiance, and pathologize authentic agency. Victimhood is merchandised, dissent is discouraged. Everything nudges you to swap true self-direction for the consolation prize, applause from the crowd. The uncomfortable truth, and yes, this is personal, is that you are not just a victim of this circuitry, you are complicit. Every time you chase comfort, every time you avoid standing apart, every time you let the hired storytellers script your desires, you allow the enemy inside the gates. That is Nietzsche's accusation. And now the real question begins. If the system thrives on your obedience, how deep is your willingness to sabotage yourself?